Hey guys, welcome to the Asking Us SEO show, episode number 4. I didn't put it up on here, but it's episode number 4. It's been a little longer to get episode 4 up than I would have liked, but it is what it is. Guys, a few weeks ago, and you can go back to Amiga Digital, our YouTube channel and watch it. You can either watch just where I'm talking and also the full show when I was actually speaking at an event. So basically, I was asked one of the questions, is SEO dead? Now, what I was planning on doing for the next month or 2 months is that every question that I got asked, I would do a show on it and I will talk about it in as much detail as I want. This video has to be between 20 to 30 minutes and I'm trying to address a couple of major concepts as well as voice search, which I want to get to as well. Now, when I got asked the question, is SEO dead, and you go back and watch it, I jokingly said, yes it is. And everyone laughed because I wouldn't be there if I thought it was. So the SEO event was just speaking about a range of different topics. There was a lot of voice, and we wanted to chat about AI and things like that, but I thought AI wasn't applicable. But so yeah, the other two speakers was Regan and the other gentleman was James, which is a close friend of mine as well. Now, when I get asked, or when I hear, or when I see on LinkedIn, is SEO dead? I sort of agree and disagree. Okay? Here is the big reason that SEO isn't dead. The fact is that search is a timeless concept. Okay? I was actually supposed to write a few more points above over here just so I know exactly what I was going to say. But I know it on top of my head, so you just have to bear with me that it's not, everything's all written down and choreographed as well as I wanted it. But search is a timeless concept. So the reason that SEO won't die, because the keyword in SEO, excuse the pun, the keyword in SEO is the search component. And searching is timeless. It's been around for antiquity. It's going to be around for the next 1,000 years, right? It's not going anywhere. Now, the engine will evolve, and that's where I'm going to talk about voice. The optimization process will adapt because you've got so much content being uploaded to the web. There's only really two sorts of algorithms. Now, I'm going to put that down to algorithms. There might be a third one. You can stretch it out, but I'm just going to put up here so I don't forget. So when I get asked that question, or when I see it on LinkedIn, or because I see all these marketing people and executives and founders, I actually don't see it as much as I used to. I saw it a lot more about a year ago and 2 years ago. Now, here is the big reason why SEO is not dead. The big reason. Because it's smart for business. What do I mean by that? Or essentially what do I mean by that is that building great content should not be a SEO tactic. It's a smart business tactic. It's great for businesses to produce quality content that increases their credibility and trust in an industry. How do you become an influencer with content? You don't, whatever way to do it. So SEO won't die. So when people say SEO is dead, they're thinking of tactics from 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. And I actually did mention that in when I spoke, but that's really the key component is that when they say SEO is dead, they're talking about meta keyword stuffing, white text on white background, just stuffing the pages with nonsense content, creating doorway pages. So if you're a service-based business and you want to target all these locations, basically it's just like cleaning services Sydney, cleaning services Western Sydney, and it's just junk content broken up into multiple pages to increase visibility that way with low quality, poor content, doorway pages. So they're looking at people that like me that say SEO isn't dead. They're thinking about all these old, outdated, dark grey to black hat tactics, and they can't believe that we're saying it's alive and SEO is not dead. we're looking back at them saying, no, it's not dead. We're thinking about building great content, produce content to become an influencer, produce content that other relevant websites or resources or blogs or universities, they're thinking, wow, this is amazing content, we're going to link to it. We're thinking about all these higher end, smart for business strategies where the SEO benefits are a byproduct. The SEO benefits is a byproduct. The primary SEO, the best SEO strategies, when you build a link, for example, and you build a link to send qualified traffic. So I just had a meeting with a cat breeder, amazing people, great honest people. They get a majority of their traffic we don't do any SEO for them. It's just we just do more web development maintenance tasks for them. But they get a majority of their traffic from a referral link. And that link sends them a lot of inquiries. It sends them traffic because it comes from another cat breeding website. So that's smart for business. So when you think of all these strategies where the best SEO strategies is a secondary SEO benefit. So the primary is all about increasing credibility, increasing your own website's authority, becoming an influencer, a thought leader. That's what is so powerful for SEO. And so the byproduct or the secondary benefits is increased rankings, an increased amount of search engine visibility. And so these things are great for SEO, but for SEO per se, that's what everyone's going after. So when we're looking back at those individuals that say SEO is dead, we're thinking about all those sort of smart for business strategies, and we can't believe that they say it is dead. And so rather than having a really honest and engaging conversation, we're talking over each other. We haven't defined what do we mean by SEO. We're talking about black hat SEO. We're talking SEO from like 2001. Are we talking about doorway page SEO, or are we talking about smart for business SEO? We're talking about advanced SEO. We're talking about ensuring that a website is optimized and can be crawled by search engines. It can be understood by search engines. I mean, that's until that part of the engine sort of and user behavior starts going away from looking at websites, away from app-based SEO, then yeah, absolutely. Then things will start to change and influence. But the concepts of producing great content is alive and well, and that won't die. So, is SEO dead? Well, I don't know where my pen's gone. Is SEO dead? Well, that depends on what you mean by SEO, and that's the answer to that question. It all depends upon what you mean. So when I was asked that question, I jokingly said yes, but actually it is dead if you are talking about those black hats, but it's not dead if you're talking about smart for business. And look, how many years will it take for voice and to completely take over, where we aren't looking at websites anymore, to the point where Google's algorithm shifts from, okay, we're going out into the internet. So basically, there's two primary algorithms, generally, that are written for, in the social media or the search world, content that content creators add onto the platform. For example, with YouTube, you've got channels that add content. That's one sort of algorithm where they have to cipher or show the best results based upon content that is uploaded or added to their own website. Then you've got an algorithm like Google. So you've got Google style, and then you've got like a YouTube or Facebook style. You get it anyway. So with Google, they actually go out and crawl the web, determine, this is not the video for it, determine what pages they want to actually include in their archive. So if you don't even have your content in the archive, in Google's archive, you're never going to rank. And that's crawlability and accessibility that we spoke about, and high valued content. And if Google doesn't believe that your content is worthy enough to be added to the archive, well, then you've got a big issue rather than just worrying about whether SEO is dead. You got to worry about is your content or your website dead first. So that sort of algorithm then determines who gets thrown into their archive, so who gets added to Google's index, and then secondarily, who ranks first to 60 million for a keyword that you search for on Google. So until that style completely runs out, where for Google, for Amazon, for all these Google Home devices or Amazon Echo or Apple Pod or whatever, when even if this does happen in the next 10 years, which it may be, or who knows, right? Even if Google will no longer need to crawl websites and people aren't looking there, or the search paradigm is completely shifted and changed to where that's not even really an issue anymore, how do we get found, therefore, on the algorithms of Facebook and YouTube? And that's when I mentioned at the very start, the search is timeless, the engines will evolve eventually, I mean, it's inevitable, but the optimization will adapt because you've got so much content. So it doesn't matter whether it's this algorithm where Google goes out into the web, finds a web page and determines whether it brings it back, or YouTube where you've got, sorry, this is a person by the way, but I don't know. It's adding content to the platform, and then the platform's, 1 + 1 = 2, whatever, right? Is deciding what gets shown when you go to YouTube, which is the second biggest search engine the last time I checked, and you search for, what's the best ways to vacuum your house or whatever, and then it shows you all these videos around that topic. So that's content people have already created. So the idea of that search engine optimization is it won't die. Even in that context, the algorithm will shift most likely in the next 10 years. So it really depends, but right now, for the next 5 to 10 years, search for text-based, this traditional going to Google and searching for things, it will still be, especially in the next 5 years, the dominant way of people accessing and finding information. That's the key. Finding and accessing information is the key to basically unlocking the whole entire point of what I'm trying to say, right? So what Google is starting to add into its snippets is voice-based queries. So that you will see, you will basically see Google showing more and more voice answers content, because with voice, you could be sitting in front of your TV, you see an ad, and then you want to ask Amazon or Google about that ad, and then it spits back an answer. See, ultimately, everything will shift based upon user behavior, and user behavior will shift based upon convenience. So why texting took off is because it's a lot faster than making a phone call. But voice will be even faster than texting or making a phone call, where it'd be like, hey, hey Alexa, can you call my dad? And it calls my dad, right? And then I'm having a conversation with my dad. See, that's a lot faster. Or, hey Alexa, can you schedule a meeting with me? Can you schedule a meeting with me? Yeah, the little robot's going to schedule a robot with you. I have a meeting with you. Can you schedule a meeting tomorrow with my friend James at 10 o'clock at this cafe? And bang, it's done. And then he'll get notified. And then, so convenience, user behavior will always be influenced by convenience, right? Because we live in a sort of world where everything's on demand, everyone wants answers right now. So Google, do I know when exactly everyone's going to actually stop looking at websites and then completely shift over to voice? No, what's the apps going to look like, or where is websites going to be in the next 10 to 20 years? If websites are still available, then this process will still be around, right? It's just the algorithm will get even more advanced. And so, but if we completely come off the Google current method of going out, looking at websites, spitting back, and we completely transform to platforms where what are people adding content and then working out who you want to listen to. So for example, right now I've set up Amazon Echo. What I do every week, I create a skill called increasing your website visibility online, or increasing your visibility online. And every week I discuss ways to improve your website's visibility in the search engines. Now, we're having a few technical issues with Amazon at the moment, but that's a different video for a different day. How that is sort of found is basically a skill finder. So people have to listen, they have to subscribe, they have to enable your skill, and then you're found. So where's that going to shift and move? You know, like that's interesting. But the point is that you can already start contributing on an even simpler basis. So you can provide a skill for, you know, what to do on a sunny day, you know, and every week you give suggestions, and then someone will play that, and it will be integrated into Amazon's just standard sort of questioning process. And someone says, oh, what am I going to do on a sunny day? And it'd be like, well, according to blah, 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 you can do this on a sunny day. So all that sort of integration and how that's going to blend in and work is very interesting. Very, very interesting, to the point that I don't even really know exactly where it's going to end up in the next 5 years. But that's sort of interesting. That fascinates me. And that's probably even a dedicated video again. And the more we tinker with it, and more we play with it, more we contribute content, how we get found, ironing out bugs, the more I actually will have to provide our viewers and our subscribers with more meaningful content. So the more we learn, the more we share, and the more we contribute, and that's the game, really. But here's what really, 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 hopefully I'm going to end on, unless something sparks in my head. That's what I usually do. It doesn't, for a business, for marketers, whether this goes or this platform seems to be the dominant, what's smart for business? What is smart for business? The same old tactics that I was talking about from the very beginning. And that is produce great content. That's it. See, that's the game of the business. Becoming an influencer. You have to produce content online, especially in voice, to be seen as a dominant force. So for any business right now to start adding voice content is absolutely, couldn't be strongly more recommended. But businesses now start needing to shift their focus on, is this algorithm working? Is this dying? Is it whatever, right? Moving away and becoming a user of all the available technology, and focus it around how can we innovate our content. And I think where marketers are going to become more instrumental going forward, I think, is being able to liaise with their clients and provide a strategy on the sort of, for example, with Amazon, the skills that we should be creating that aren't already available. So that's where it becomes really, really powerful. And that's really the game. So guys, whatever happens, key component is that quality will reign supreme, no matter. And to sum up, is SEO dead? Absolutely not. SEO is not dead. Search is a timeless concept, action. The engine will evolve, absolutely, but it's not going to die, it's going to evolve. You'll do the opposite than dying, it's going to get more advanced. And the optimization process will adapt based upon the engine and how people are searching. That's the game. So right now, SEO is primarily discussed under Google and Bing. Primarily when we talk about the search, we're talking about searching on Google and Bing. So the engine is Google and Bing. The optimization process is around Google's algorithm to go, and Bing's algorithm to go and get information, bring it back, and then working out what's the best content to display. So with voice, the search component is, hey Alexa, can you tell me what smartphone device should I buy tomorrow? The engine is basically the devices themselves, Google, Home. And, the optimization becomes content driven, and that's the interesting part. Right now, it's all based upon, on Amazon Echo, that's the one we're using, people are enabling our skills. So the optimization becomes around, how do I get people to find that in the skill finder? And that's sort of where you start figuring out, I wonder what people are searching for in the skill finder. I wonder what content is already winning. Go and listen to other flash briefings, they call it on Amazon. Listen to what other content people are creating that's working. Maybe adapt it and change it to your style, to your business's industry and credibility. The optimization process is still evolving, in a sense, based upon the engines themselves evolving, and even people searching and getting mass amounts of people to shifting to that paradigm. We're right now still very, very much in its infancy. So all three, the search, the engine, the optimization, is still all growing and progressing. Point is, it's going to end up. This is going to be the dominant. There's no question, because eventually it's the most convenient way to win. Now you can have the moral argument about privacy and all that sort of stuff until the cows come home, right? We can talk about that if you like, but the point is that mass amounts of consumers are eventually going to end up here. So what does that mean for a business? They need to start playing around with these devices. So hopefully, guys, I've answered, is SEO dead? Yes, depending upon what outdated 2001 black hat, grey hat tactic you're talking about. No, when you start thinking about tactics and strategies that are great and smart for business, that make sense to dominate, and also that it becomes a secondary or byproduct in terms of increased rankings and increased search visibility and more conversions and all the rest of that. So that's pretty much what I'm going to leave with you guys today. Hopefully you found this video interesting. I'd love to hear comments. Please comment below and tell us what you think about voice. Where do you think voice is going to go? How do you think voice is going to change and improve our lives? I mean, what can businesses do to improve their visibility? So any ideas, any suggestions, any comments, any feedback, get involved in the discussion below, and let's start chatting and talking about this stuff, because it's absolutely very fascinating and interests me to no end. So guys, please join the conversation. Please comment below. Let us know what you thought of the video. Give it a thumbs up. We'll appreciate that. Please like and subscribe and comment. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.